That's funny, Private. Sir, no, sir.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Careful, Source Hunter. If I keep my eyes off this cage, the beast's liable to risk an escape. She may have the look of a... We got reports of it. I tapped her on the...
Bit tullier.
Enjoy it while you can.
I'd say you...
We already...
Careful, Source Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Those boots that embarrass a brick throat.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Scythiel, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs. You hear?
Okay, well then tell me about yourself.
I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Scythiel. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into driveling hordes of their own misshapen number.
Let's discuss the murder.
Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother, but he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop, understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary.
Buddy, the mayor runs this town. You're getting paid by him.
The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you!
In regards to Jake's wife.
Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition.
I'd like to ask some additional questions.
If you must.
So your main problem is the undead?
Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all.
How are you enjoying Scythiel?
How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Scythiel stinks
Does not
of
like it
fish,
here at all,
reeks
apparently.
of orcs, and on a good day, the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now, I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Scythiel.
Tell me about the Legion.
We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, We protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably.
What, in your opinion, are the orcs doing here?
I'd say they are looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion.
Howard tells me he suspects a sect might be at work around Syciel.
Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.
I'll be taking my leave.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
How about you tell me a bit more about yourself?
But certainly. What would you like to know?
Who, or rather, what are you?
Oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian of man and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay. But my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun that is the cosmic soul. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature, the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by demons and directors of the dead. Hence my involvement in Syciel. You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, will grow up without knowing the meaning of menace, the enfeeblement of fear. To my great regret, none of them purr as yet.
Could you tell me a bit more about this cat trick?
Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise? Such magic is a gift, hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct, even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness, you couldn't possibly imagine the thrill.
Wait, didn't we talk to this guy about this?
Of course, it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs, this I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of two worlds.
I think we already talked about some of this stuff. Anyways, isn't it dangerous to polymorph like you do? What if you get stuck in another form?
Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph permanent if she'd enchant me in my cat guise, but I'll just have to be careful around witches, won't I? I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar.
Let's talk about source hunters.
By
Source hunter
all
business.
means.
Jake's murder.
Of course. I hope your investigation fares well.
What happened the night of the murder?
I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into a rather disappointing meal, I'm afraid.
Excuse me, sorry, Chad.
They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, a terrible commotion erupted and the thundering light of magic was witnessed by the few remaining patrons. It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. When finally he did, he found Jake there, dead. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. The traces of magic I felt were vile. Source, no doubt.
Who, in your opinion, are the suspects?
I myself have none. Even though the rest of the town has already mentally tried and convicted Jake's wife, Esmeralda. Now, it may well be established that she is, in fact, the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but let's just say that if I really thought this murder case would be so very easily resolved, I wouldn't have sent for source hunters.
Is there more you can tell me about the stranger that seemed to be in league with the orcs?
I can't say much more, but that they're madmen. All the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry.
I'll take my leave. Okay.
Sir, no sound.
You don't think a careful source hunter. If I keep... Bear Daughter remains silent, but stands at her full.
This woman here, but soon there's...
You think that's funny, Private?
You don't think it's in fact a deal?
Sir, come on.
Careful source hunter. If I... Careful source hunter.
Huh.
You don't think it's in fact a deal?
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes if ever there was one. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help as well. We've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success.
With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
Lieutenant Selenia at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second in command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards source hunters than he is. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, Source Hunter. A gift and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself can make a true difference in this troubled part of the world. Such is my honest conviction.
Let's discuss the undead.
The undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Sicil after all. No longer do I feel that way, though. Too many of my soldiers have fallen. The dead must be put down without mercy, if we can. The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death.
Okay. Matters concerning the Legion.
I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you.
There are some sailors looking for work. Perhaps there's a place for them in the Legion?
It's very sweet of you that you are trying to get these men a job, but I'm afraid they're not Legion material. Sure, they can tie a knot and blow a whistle like the best of them, but even with a sword in their hands, they wouldn't stand a chance against the undead, and I don't want any more blood on my hands.
Let's discuss the expeditions into hostile territory, you mean.
If ever we want to be victorious in Sicil, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the Pact of Volunteers, 3 expeditions were launched to do just that, but so far, none of their participants have returned. 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation: the lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. Places fraught with danger all.
Regarding the lighthouse.
There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for their safety.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Hold on.
Ugly will be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I was for you to try and screech, woman. The beast speaks. So you've half a brain behind that barrel wall, have you? The cretin's question crossed her lips. Just an air of aptitude.
Hey, no. I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Various. You'll only encourage it. You don't think it's effective, do you?
Okay. Burial mounds.
There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them.
Okay. Old church?
There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the Seven instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods over evil sorcery. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. Hence the expedition.
You mentioned a pact you made with your legionaries?
So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer, and if they are successful, they just bought themselves a boat ride home.
Ah.
Ugly will be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
What do you got? Ah, you have blacksmithing and crafting. Oh, neat. I want to try something real quick. Hold on.
Ready to advance, ready to defend. What can I do for you, comrade?
I need... Medora, I need you to leave the party for the present.
But what'll you do if the feline menace chooses this very moment to launch its offensive? Well, I reckon I'll grab a pint at the King Crab Inn until you lot come to your senses. Medora salutes you, comrades, until we meet again.
Oh, okay.
Don't pay attention to the
So-
beast, Various. You'll only encourage it.
So then...
Careful, Source Hunter. If I keep... She may have the... We got reports. I tapped her.
Bit tough.
Enjoy it while you can.
Well,
Sorry, sir.
Ah, okay. Perhaps it'd be worth taking the stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good
there we
home
go.
for her after all, Cull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Oh, okay. So in order to recruit somebody, I have to...
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Yes, as you've noticed, we are unpredictable species as likely to kill as to heal. It's best to be wary of those you meet for this very reason.
If you say it is so, then wary I will be. As the god wolf Amira commanded Threes. Win you from your wicked world, or cold company will corrupt you.
Old base! To the barracks! Not!
Okay.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Oh, you're a...
Those boots would embarrass a bridge throw. Get
Oh,
to
you're a bow
shiny
user.
recruits.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir. Attention! About face! To the barracks! Not! Recruits! That was sloppier than
That's hilarious.
Sicilian stew.
Okay,
Again.
yeah, she's a bow user. She could be our main,
Those boots
Oh, she has
embarrass
War
a
Master.
bridge throw. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Interesting.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! Not! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Hmm. What is this? Oh, this is Esmeralda. Suppose we should go and talk with Esmeralda. Ugh.
My, what a strong and handsome officer you are, kind Septimus. You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda, dearest. I'm just doing my duty, you know, for the Legion.
Well, you certainly are my hero. The rock upon which I may rest my weary soul in these trying and troubled times.
Never fear, milady. As long as I'm around, no hair on your haloed head shall be harmed.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter? I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same.